The Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineers was raised during May of 1943 as the Corps of Indian Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. IEME provided yeoman service during the Second World War and post-independence came to be known as the Corps of Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. Since then, the Corps has changed considerably in role and size and contributed effectively during 1962, 1965 and 1971 wars, even in Operation Pavan, Operation Meghdoot, Operation Vijay and recently in Operation Parakram II. With the proliferation of high technology and modernization of our gallant army, the Corps was rechristened as the Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineers on 1st of Jan 2001. Continuing the odyssey of enhancing professionalism, the Corps has spearheaded management of technology transition as a step towards imbibing state-of-the-art technology. Today, Indian Army is celebrating its Raising Day of the Corps of the Electronics and Mechanical Engineers. Today, each and every one of us and at the SSB Crack exams, each and every student and the citizen of this particular country wishes the EME Corps a very happy Raising Day. Equipment and technology management are two omnipotent command functions in which contribution of EME has been indispensable. Infusion of high technology and equipment on one hand and active CI Corps on the other, the challenges being braved by all ranks of the Corps are multifaceted. The dedication and sincerity to the task at hand has earned the Corps 2 Padma Bhushans, 4 Padma Shris, 5 Arjuna Awards, 2 Veer Chakras, 5 Kirti Chakras, 6 Shaurya Chakras, 25 Param Vishishta Seva Medals, 57 Ati Vishishta Seva Medals and Sena Medals, 124 Vishishta Seva Medals, 3 bars and numerous other awards. These are an acknowledgement of the technical and adventure feats and prowess of the soldier craftsman tenor of the Corps. Hello and welcome to SSB Crack Exams. I am Hemant and now we are going to discuss in very detail about various other important updates of the defense. And SSB Crack Exams is India's largest, most preferred online defense exams preparation portal. We are one-stop solution for you if you are preparing for various defense examinations like NDA, CDS, AFCAT, INET, Territorial Army, Indian Air Force, Airman Group X, Group Y, Central Armed Police Forces examinations. I request you to follow us on all sort of social media platforms and kindly download our Android app from Google Play Store so that you can have each and every important defense-related study material, all sorts of examination-related study material, content, sample practice exercises, lot of quizzes at your hand. Beginning with the question of the day that I have posted on 14th of October 2020, that is yesterday. And the question that I asked you guys was, who was the Northern Army commander during the surgical strike in September 2016? I repeat the question. Who was the Northern Army commander during the surgical strike in September 2016? That means I am simply asking you who was the commander of the Northern command of the Indian Army during September of 2016, and the correct answer is Lieutenant General D.S. Huda, or in the full terms we can say that he is Lieutenant General Dipendra Singh Huda, PVSM, UYSM, AVSM, VSM, BAR and ADC. He was the Northern Army commander during the surgical strike in September 2016. Okay, so he retired on the next month, that is on 30th of November 2016. But while the surgical strike was going on, he was the commander during that time for the Northern Command. So his career was spanned around 40 years. That means he served in the Indian Army for 40 years and he served both in the northern and eastern borders of India. Okay, why we are mentioning both of these? Because both of these, the northern and the eastern borders of India, are very volatile and the situation is very rampant there. So he served in both the borders during his 40 years tenure. He has also been a very valiant instructor at the Military College of Telecommunications Engineering, which is located at Mao, and he also served as the COI of a strike corps. He has also had tenures in the Military Operations Directorate and also as the Quartermaster General's branch at the Army headquarters. He has also served on the United Nations mission in the countries of Ethiopia and Eritrea, for which he was awarded UNMEE medal. Mention in the comment section what is the specialty of the UNMEE medal. Okay. So beginning with the first and foremost important defense update for today is that I was discussing with you in the introduction session that today is the 78th EME Corps Day, the Raising Day of the Army's Electronics and Mechanical Engineers Corps. So it was on today, that means on 15th of October 1943, few years back, the actual transfer of personnel from Indian Army's Army Ordnance Corps towards the Indian IEME, it took place. Okay, so it was previously called the Indian Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, but later in October of 2001, the IEME was transformed and the name was rechristened as EME. Okay, so previously it was called as the Indian Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, but in the year of 2001, the name was rechristened and they were named as the Electronics and Mechanical Engineers. This is how their flag looks. Their flag has three important colors, which include, as per their terminology, it is the Oxford blue, the golden yellow, and the scarlet red. Okay, so also you can simply call it as the scarlet. Okay, so since then, the 15th of October is observed as the EME Core Day of the Indian Army. The Corps also has various responsibilities. The responsibilities of the Army's EME include, they are related to the design, development, trial, inspection and refitting of all sort of weapon systems of Indian Army's equipment, and they also provide technical advice to the units and conduct recovery operations in peace and war. This is what we have to compulsorily remember. Considering the colors of this particular corps, we have to understand that Oxford blue color signifies their devotion to duty for the Indian Army. The golden yellow color in their flag represents magnanimity and their intellect towards various other technological aspects of the army's weaponry and the system and manufacturing. And considering about the scarlet color, that implies the aggressiveness, the valor and the sacrifice of the various officers and the soldiers of this particular regiment of army. Okay, so this particular badge, which has a horse along with its chain upon, which is mounted on a globe, which mentions that engineering is one of the most important prime branches that rules the world. They carry their motto, which is mentioned here in the Devanagari script written above as Karm Hi Dharma, which means work is worship, which also includes a national emblem on the top mentioning that this serves under the government of India. This badge was designed by Major S.C. Doig and it was taken into use from 26th of January 1955. Okay, so the design for the core colors was proposed by the then DME Major General S.P. Vora and it was approved by the then President Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, the second President of India, in March of 1964. Okay, that is it regarding the complete details regarding EME Corps. We again wish each and every personnel of Indian Army working in this particular Corps of Indian Army a very happy Raising Day. Going through with the next and the most important defense update is that India scoffs at China's new excuse for Ladakh standoff and it cites three reasons. The meaning of scoff is that mentioning some particular person in a very ridiculous way. So we mentioned that China is giving all sort of new excuses for its Ladakh standoff, and we gave three important reasons for its countering the points that are posed by the China. So the 3 points that were mentioned by the Indian Army's officers were that the first, the bridges inaugurated by the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on Monday are far away from LAC and would facilitate the civilian movement and access the apart from military logistics. This was the first important thing, because the Chinese were mentioning that India is continuously building its infrastructure along the LAC, but India has a very strong point on this, and it clearly mentioned that all the important bridges, recently we also had a news one day back that 44 bridges were inaugurated, but all of these bridges are away from the LAC and all of these will facilitate the civilian movement. So this claim from the Chinese side is absolutely wrong. And also the second important point that India mentioned, that China has never raised the issue of India's infra upgrade at the ongoing military diplomatic talks. Okay, so in all of these important military diplomatic talks, China has never raised any issue regarding India's infrastructure upgrade at the ongoing talks. Also, the third important point that the Indian side mentioned, that about what about the road, the bridges, the optical fibers, the solar heated huts, missile deployments of the PLA close to the LAC, because it was the Chinese who were building all of these important infrastructure which is very, very close to LAC, but India is not building all of these close to the LAC. India's point and India's service is only towards its citizen. That is the reason why all of the bridges that were built, they are far away from LAC and they are facilitating the civilian movement. That is what it was mentioned through 3 points. And as per the correct words from the officers, it was said that India is only building infra on each side of LAC, and for that we do not need Chinese permission. So this is what it was discussed, and India gave 3 important strong points. Now regarding this, we have to see the updates about the ongoing talks and the tensions, and all the important information will be provided from our side. So stay tuned with us. Going through with the next important update is that about the Foreign Secretary Shringala and US Deputy Secretary have discussed the upcoming 2+2 dialogue. Okay, so Indian Foreign Secretary is Dr. Harshvardhan Shringala, and United States Deputy Secretary of State is Stephen Biegun. Both of them on Tuesday, they have discussed the upcoming 2+2 ministerial dialogue between the two countries and reviewed bilateral ties, including expanding cooperation in the Indo-Pacific. Okay, so what all things that they have discussed? They have reviewed the bilateral ties. That means the important relationship between both the countries, both India and USA, and both of them have talks regarding expanding the cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region. This dialogue is expected to be held in New Delhi, that means in our capital, during October 26 to 27, the coming days, through both countries, though both the countries are yet to make a formal announcement regarding the event. So we have to wait for the proper formal announcement, and once it is done, we will always provide the complete details regarding all of these important issues, as we are providing to you all the way up until today. Going through with the next important update is that Parliament panel is going to visit Ladakh on October 28 to 29 amid the standoff between both India and China. Now, what all are the most important persons from this particular Parliament panel? This Parliament panel includes the members of the Public Accounts Committee. Public Accounts Committee is considered to be a very, very important, crucial committee. Mention in the comment section what are the powers of the Public Accounts Committee and who all are responsible and who all are accountable and answerable to this particular committee, because this is considered to be one of the most important primary committees that is going to be headed. So this committee, which is now headed by the Congress Member of Parliament Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, along with various other members, they all are likely to visit Leh on October 28 to 29. Okay, so this visit was finalized after the Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary MP has written to the Speaker of Lok Sabha Om Birla last month. He suggested that TSC visit Ladakh sector to interact with the soldiers deployed there and understand their working conditions and requirements, because he also mentioned the reports that were given by the Comptroller and Auditor General about the less number of equipment and low number of winter jackets and all of those important equipment that were there in the Indian Army, that the problems that are faced by the soldiers. This particular report was given by the Comptroller and Auditor General 1 month back. So it was at that time that Congress MP Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has written a letter so that he can go directly visit the important areas in LAC and then give a formal report. So this particular meeting will take up in October 28 to 29, and details regarding that will be provided as usual. Going through with the next important update is that Seoul seeks closer defense ties with India. Seoul is the capital of South Korea. So this clearly mentions that South Korea is intending its relationship towards having more closer defense ties with India. Okay, this is considered to be very, very important update, because India and Japan and United States of America and Australia are beginning to be a very stronger relationship as a quad. But along with this, if we also have the hand from the South Korea, then the relationship in countering the China will be very, very strong from our side. Okay, so South Korea has suggested the revival of in-person diplomacy, including 2+2 talks with India. Okay, and they have also held a meeting during its first Vice Foreign Minister Choi Jong-kun with Indian Ambassador in Seoul Shri Priya Ranganathan. Both of them have discussed, and both Ms. Ranganathan and Choi have also agreed to continue their efforts to deepen bilateral cooperation, especially in defense, okay, and people-to-people exchanges, according to a South Korean Foreign Ministry statement. Okay, so this is considered to be a very good news. And going through with the next important update is that Indian Army and Maharashtra Police have conducted a joint anti-terror exercise in Pune. This was organized by the Agni Baz Division of Indian Army, which is also formally known as the 41st Artillery Division of the Southern Army Command, and it also works under the Army's Counter-Terrorism Task Force. And both of these, the CTTF along with the important police personnel, they have conducted a joint anti-terror exercise at Lalanagar in Pune on October 9th. Okay, so the quick reaction teams, dog squads, bomb disposal teams of army, as well as anti-terrorism squad and a quick response team of the state police have participated in this very, very important, crucial exercise. Going through with the next and the final important update for us is about remembering a very famous, legendary and always a famous personality that each and every one of us own, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, India's missile man and 11th president, remembering him on his birth anniversary. He is a former president and is also known as the People's President and also the Missile Man. He is the scientist who served as the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. He was born on 15th of October 1931 and he died on 27th of July 2015, few years back, when he collapsed at a lecture at IIM Shillong, and that was a very disheartening thing that happened for us. He is a great motivator and an indomitable inspiration to the world masses. If we go through the life of the APJ Abdul Kalam, it is a very, very important for us to understand and remember him. From his book, My Journey, Transforming Dreams into Actions, he revealed an incident that he faced. He got two chances to join Indian Air Force, one at Air Force Selection Board, Dehradun, and another at Directorate of Technical Development and Production, DTDP, at Delhi. After attending the interview, he realized that AFSB seeks a certain kind of smartness along with your knowledge and educational qualification. Kalam was recommended from AFSP Dehradun, but he was merit out. Only 8 vacancies were there at that time, but his name was there at the 9th one, so he got merit out. So it was very, very important lesson for him. After attending the interview, he realized that AFSB seeks a certain kind of smartness. As described by Abdul Kalam, he bagged the 9th position out of 25 candidates and failed as only 8 vacancies were there at that moment, when he also got broke for a moment, but he didn't stop at all. So we have to remember very, very important famous quotes that were given by APJ Abdul Kalam for today, so that each and every one of us remember what he says. He also said that all of us do not have equal talent, but all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our talents. If you want to shine like a sun, first burn like a sun. You have to dream before your dreams can come true. Great dreams of great dreamers are always transcended. To succeed in your mission, you must have single-minded devotion to your goal. Man needs his difficulties because they are necessary to enjoy success. We should not give up and we should not allow the problem to defeat us. In actual words, he is a real motivation for all aspirants preparing for SSB. He taught us the lesson to never give up and never compromise with our aim even after facing new failures. Today, SSB crack exams and each and every important citizen of this particular country owes a salute and a very deep respect to this particular most important personality who made our country proud in the world. Now we will have a very quick review going through some of the most important questions, and the first and foremost question for today is the scarlet color in EME flag implies what? It implies aggressiveness, valor and sacrifice. Okay, if you remember the flag of the EME, it has 3 most important colors. Here it is completely filled with blue colors here, and here in the middle it is filled with the deep red, and both the other are filled with yellow. Okay, so the scarlet red implies aggressiveness, valor and sacrifice. Then the yellow color represents the magnanimity and intellect, and the blue color represents the devotion to duty that you have to remember. Going through with the next important question is, on 15th of October 1943, actual transfer of personnel from which particular ordnance corps to IEME took place, and the correct answer for this is Army Ordnance Corps. Okay, so it was from the Indian Army's Army Ordnance Corps. The transfer of personnel took place on 15th of October. So it was from that time that EME was formed. So that is the reason why 15th October every year is celebrated as a raising day for the core of EME. Going through with the next important question is, Indian Secretary of Foreign Affairs is who? He is Dr. Harshvardhan Shringala. Mr. Harshvardhan Shringala is the Indian Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Mention in the comment section who is Mr. Rajesh Bhushan, who is Ajay Kumar and who is Ajay Kumar Bhalla. Going through with the next important question is, APJ Abdul Kalam was dash President of India. He was the 11th President of India. He served from the year of 2002 to 2007. Going through with the next important question is, which among the following are the sobriquets given to late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam? And he was given the names of both Missile Man of India and People's President. The next important question is, the members of the Public Accounts Committee PAC are likely to visit Leh on October 28 and 29. This particular committee is headed by whom? It is now headed by the Congress Member of Parliament Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury. Now we will have the question of the day, and the question of the day for today is, which military service medal of Indian Armed Forces has an elephant engraved on it? I repeat the question. Which military service medal of Indian Armed Forces has an elephant engraved on it? The answer for this and the explanation for it I will be giving you in the next session. Until then, always stay tuned to SSB Crack Exams. Subscribe to this channel. Download our Android app from Google Play Store. Also, as a very important update and as a reminder that I would like to tell you that we will be covering a very important defense current affairs that is mentioned from the date of the 14th of September 2020 all the way up towards the 12th of October 2020. All of these important days, the defense updates, the complete 1 month marathon will be covered up in the coming up Saturday. So please remember and stay tuned with us. The complete defense affairs will be covered by me. So that will be a very important session. Until then, always stay safe, eat healthy food, keep smiling, always stay smart. Remember the quotes that are given by the APJ Abdul Kalam and apply them for your life. Always be motivated and Jai Hind.